Where is he?
Where are you? Skull Rock. Do you know it?
Hello, everyone. This is Stacy over at the Skull Rock broadcast. I am joined by...
Hello, I'm Megan. Welcome back to our Stranger Things podcast. We're always so excited to talk with you about this show that we love, and we've been teasing this for a couple episodes that we have another special guest on our show today. So we are super excited to introduce you to Alexis from EpicCons. So we've been talking so much about this Upside Down convention that we are going to in October, and we have Alexis here to talk with us about it. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. I'm really excited. So I'm Alexis, and I am the co-owner of EpicCons. My business partner, Anna, and I started the company about 3 years ago now. And kind of a little bit about us, we're 100% female owned and operated, which is very rare in the convention sector, especially. So we're very proud of that. And we run this company with our best friends that we met going to conventions. We started this company as fangirls, and we always stay true to that. So it's really fun for us getting to put on the cons and work with cast members from shows and movies that we love.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So Stacy and I, we are in different states and we met on Instagram, but the first time we met in real life was at a convention. So we met last June in Philadelphia at a convention. So we're super excited to go to your convention that you're putting on in October together. We love that you started this based on, being fangirls and going to conventions. So what was your first convention experience like?
Yeah, so my first convention that I went to, it was the One Chicago event, and I think that was I can't remember what year. I want to say 2016, but it was in Chicago, and it was the Chicago Fire Med PD convention, and went there. The owner of the company, which now she does the One Tree Hill conventions in Wilmington, she's great, and they put on wonderful events. Absolutely loved it. Went to more conventions as a fan, and then we really wanted to do a Vampire Diaries con because there wasn't one in Covington, which Covington is where Vampire Diaries Originals Legacies was filmed. And it's why hasn't anybody done something here? So it was right at the tail end of the COVID pandemic, and Anna and I one night, it was a Monday or Tuesday night, and just randomly were we should do a convention. Let's do it in Covington. And so that night we started our own entity, thought of a name, and Epic is an overarching theme and word in the Vampire Diaries. So we were okay, Epic Events. And we started it that night, and yeah, just never turned around from there. It was just a crazy thing.
I have watched the Vampire Diaries and I love it. Stacey has not yet. So we keep trying to get her to because she has to. But I just watched it recently actually, and just binged the whole all of it, all the spinoffs and everything. And it was a good year and a half that I was watching it because there's so much. But it's funny because I feel when I got really into it, I would look at YouTube videos of the cast and their Comic-Con and stuff performances, and they're just so engaging and so fun. And that was one of the most fun things about getting to know that universe was watching those videos. So I completely understand you wanting to do that and bring it to the place where it was filmed, because that's crazy that it didn't exist yet.
Alexis, what was your favorite convention experience so far?
And I guess it could be one that you went to prior to your company, or one that you've had. Maybe both. Maybe your favorite convention before your company, and then your favorite convention since you've started the company.
So I think my favorite convention experience that I've had that we didn't host would have been back at that first Chicago event that I went to. They did an event at Lottie's, which is Molly's on the Chicago shows. And they had a lot of the cast there, and it was a dinner and kind of after hours drink party. And that was the first time I met Sophia Bush, who is an absolute icon. For me, that was really cool because you felt like you were in an episode. And that's kind of like part of what sparked us wanting to do things like back where shows were filmed, because you feel like you're in an episode of The Vampire Diaries. You're going to feel like you're in an episode of Stranger Things, being there like in the square. Favorite moment for a con that we have hosted, though, I think would be when we got to announce Nina Dobrev. And this was in April of last year. It was so crazy because, I mean, she hasn't done an event for, it was like 14, 15 years. And we had all of these fans that were, I mean, like 2,000, something like that, fans sitting there, and they knew a big announcement was coming. We had some of the cast helping us with the announcement, had the video playing on the screen. Some of the cast that like wasn't even a part of the announcement stayed to watch the reaction. And I mean, it was just so cool. Everybody was sobbing. We were sobbing. All these people were there for one of our conventions. And then we got to drop like the biggest surprise that, I mean, nobody saw coming. So that was really neat.
Yeah, chills.
Oh, yeah. Like, it was crazy. There's all these like pictures, and like, even now, if I'm having a bad day, I can like look back and just like look up on TikTok, like Nina Dobrev announcement for Covington. And like, there's so many videos that went viral, just everybody sobbing. And I'm like, this is so great. So that would be my favorite moment that we've hosted.
Yeah, that's so amazing. And so you've talked about this a little bit, but what are some of the things that make your conventions different from just like the standard Comic-Con or Fan Expo or whatever other convention?
Yeah. So like I said, we're 100% female owned and operated. And right there, like, sets us majorly apart. And we're also fangirls. Every event that we do, it's because we love the show. We love the movies. We love every single like fandom that we're including. So it's all very personal for us. We would never be able to do like an event for shows or movies that we're not passionate about, because I think that we'd lose that fire. And that's what like, we're like, we have to get so and so because like they're such a core part of the show. And we're like that for every event that we do. Also, like, us getting to bring them back to where, like, we obviously can't do that for everything because so much is filmed in LA. But if there's an opportunity for us to like host a convention where a show was filmed, we want to do that there, because nothing is more magical than feeling like you are in Hawkins, Indiana, you are in Mystic Falls. And then also, I think like, so our team, there's 9 of us, like Anna and I that own it, and then like our closest friends. We do 100% of everything. We don't have other people that are like running our social medias. If one of us responds on social media, it's myself, Devin, or Imani. If you're emailing, it's one of us responding. We don't have like a customer service department. If you're ordering merch, it's one of us that's packaging the merch. So like everything from like building our website to putting tickets online to packaging registration envelopes to running the event like on the ground, we do 100% of that. And you can't find that anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Extremely hands-on, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I mean, I'm sure that it feels like, you know, you're obviously working, but it feels like a passion project almost because you love it. And we were actually having a conversation about this show. Like, we wouldn't be able to put this much time and effort into like making this podcast if it wasn't something that we love and we are enjoying doing. So kind of relate to that for sure.
So, Alexis, why are conventions so special to you?
TV shows and movies, they're an escape from reality. And getting to go to the conventions and meet either like the show creators, the showrunners, the actors and actresses that brought these shows to life that you're so invested in, that like it could be a comfort show, it could be a movie that you've watched once that just like really impacted your life. Getting to meet those people, it, I feel like, strengthens that like connection to the shows and movies. And it's really cool getting to meet them because like you see them just as a character on a TV show or something like that, but then you get to meet them and it's more tangible. And like, then you learn about like their projects that they work on. Like some of them have not-for-profits that they run, or they have clothing brands and things like that. So you get to learn more about them as an actual person and really want to, I guess, kind of invest in other projects that they have. But it's neat to kind of put that connection together.
Yeah, and it gives you a chance to allow them kind of to share that with more people too, which it's doing something for both. Like it's doing for something for the actors, and then it's doing something for the people who get to come and see them. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and you get to make connections with other fans. If it wasn't for conventions, like, we wouldn't have Epic, like, Epic wouldn't exist. I would not have my best friends, because we all met going to conventions. So it's just a really cool way because you're all there for a common interest. And so we always tell people, like, our biggest piece of advice going to one of our cons is be ready to talk to people. Like, if you're standing in line to meet Joe Keery, like, it's because you're in a line with other people that also want to meet Joe Keery. So, like, talk to them, be like, "Oh, are you so excited? Like, what was your favorite scene? What's your favorite, whatever?" And who knows, you could be meeting your best friend.
Yeah, yeah, that's so cool. I was going to sort of ask you that, like, and we can get into it maybe a little bit more later, but do you have any other words of wisdom or advice for even going to like any convention, but also specifically like for the conventions that you run, or maybe this convention in October? Like, what would be like your, I don't know, top three things? Like, talk to people can be number one, but
Yeah.
anything else?
Yeah, so talk to people for sure. Wear comfortable shoes because I will never understand girls showing up to cons wearing high heels. I'm like, "Girl, what are you doing?" 5 minutes in, your feet are going to be screaming at you, and the rest
Yeah.
of the weekend, you're going to be miserable. Like, wear tennis shoes, crop it out. Like, please wear tennis shoes, and we preach on that all the time, like, shoes, wear tennis shoes. And then I think too, like, obviously, portable phone chargers is important, especially for ours because you don't get, like, a printed copy of your photo unless you buy the printed copy. It's digital, so you'll need your phone to scan the QR code and download your picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and then also, like, staying hydrated is so important because even I can't tell you how many times I've been, like, in a convention center where there's, like, ample AC and people are passing out because they haven't eaten a snack, they haven't drank water, so I think that's really important too is taking care of yourself.
Yeah. That's huge. You obviously are a fan of Stranger Things as well, and this is a Stranger Things podcast, so we have to talk about that. But before we let you talk about Stranger Things, you said The Vampire Diaries, One Tree Hill. Are there any other shows and movies that are like in your like top 5 or top 10?
There's so many shows and movies that, like, I love. My number 1 fandom, though, will always be Harry Potter.
Okay.
Growing up, I remember I read the books for the first time in, like, the first book, I think, in, like, 2nd grade, and I remember, like, when the movie came out, like, our parents for, like, our whole class I went to a small private school, and, like, we all went to the movies when that movie was released, and so, like, after that point, every midnight release for books, every midnight release for movies, like, my mom dragged me there until I was old enough to take myself, and, like, I think it was the Deathly Hallows 2. We actually, like, when you walked into the movies, as funny as this is, and I'm a total nerd, I'll own it, like, they confiscated wands when you walked in. Like, you weren't allowed to wear robes to the movies, you could not bring a wand in. But and I mean, I was on, like, that level, and, like so Harry Potter will always be my number 1. I liked Twilight, and we've, like, worked with Twilight cast. Nikki Reed is an angel, absolute angel, love her so much, like,
So cool.
I'm trying to think of what else, but, like, Vampire Diaries, One Tree Hill. I mean, I like so many different things, like, I've watched the Chicago shows, really like those, 911, Lone Star, like, I feel like I'm kind of all over the place. Grey's Anatomy.
Mhm.
'Cause there's some shows and movies, like, that I'll watch with my husband, but then there's others that are, like, the more, like, teen drama and things like that that I'll watch by myself, so
Yeah, that's so cool. Stacey, did you like do the Harry Potter stuff? I feel like we've never really talked about that.
My sister was really into it.
Okay.
So I just remember one night after many gin and tonic, she was like, "We're gonna watch them all in one night."
Is that even possible?
Oh, okay. So I think we all know how that ended up. But no, I really enjoy them. They're awesome.
Yeah, I was similar to, so I think I was in 7th grade when I finally read the books, but like 3 were out at that point. So I'm like aging myself. But my brother is younger than me and was trying to convince me for like a couple years to read them. And I stayed home sick one day from school. And before he left for school, he would have been in like 5th grade at this point, brought me the first book. And he was like, "You're
Aw.
not doing anything else. You're staying home sick. Like, read this book." And I mean, I always loved to read. So he was like frustrated with me that I wouldn't read them. And I read the whole book that day and then started the second book. And that was like, I think it's a fun little story of like my first time reading Harry Potter. But yeah, definitely. I loved the midnight releases for the books. Like, I feel like I went to more of those than the actual movies. But yeah, it was fun. And I like the Vampire Diaries. Like I said, I never really watched One Tree Hill. But
It's
I
so
like,
good.
yeah, I feel like I don't know why. I like watched the first season or like started it and then I just like never kept up with it. But I have so many shows that I want to go back at some point and just watch. So never enough time. But I'm like you too. Like there's certain shows that I'll watch with my husband. So it's like, we watched The Walking Dead for a little while. We watched Game of Thrones. Like
Mhm.
those are like the shows that he would watch with me. But I'm jealous because my friend's husband watched The Vampire Diaries with her and loved it. Like he was so into it. I was like, that's awesome.
I tried making my husband watch, and it was so funny because he acted like he hated every minute of it. And then, like, I'd be like, "Fine, well, I'm gonna keep watching, like, without you," like, when I was doing a rewatch or something, and he'd be like, "Matt Donovan's so dumb for that." Or, "Damon did what?" And I'm like, "You were watching this, like,
You're getting into it. Yeah.
act like you don't like
Yeah.
it. You're watching and, like, engaging in conversations."
Yeah,
So, it was
exactly.
funny.
So let's talk about Stranger Things. Are you a big Stranger Things fan? Would you consider yourself a big Stranger Things fan?
Yeah, so
Okay.
when it first aired, like, when season 1 went on Netflix, we watched it, I think, like, that weekend that it released, and then we did the same with season 2, and then I don't think we did for season 3, and season 4 we watched, like, late, and then, like, after we decided to do the con, I rewatched, just
Yeah.
because it's been a while since I'd watched any of them. Sydney that's on our team is, like, the biggest Stranger Things fan. Like, she was 1,000% like, "We need to do this, we need to do this." And she keeps joking that she collects, like, the Funkos,
Yep.
and she's like, "I'm gonna have to have people go up to Gayton and get some of these autographed," because she's like, "I have, like, 50 Dustin ones." And I'm like no, and it's funny because 'cause I'm like, every volunteer's name is gonna be Sydney. Like, he's
Yeah.
gonna
That's
what?
amazing.
It's funny.
This is Sydney 1, Sydney 2, Sydney 3.
Yeah,
That's
no,
great.
we're all fans of Stranger Things, and so it's really cool.
That's awesome. What would you say, Alexis, is your like favorite moment from Stranger Things?
Oh god, I don't know. This is really like, this is a hard thing because and, like, I just binged everything else, like, rewatched everything, like, 2, 3 months ago.
Mhm.
I mean, I think probably the overarching my favorite part of the show is Steve and Dustin's friendship,
Yeah.
The best.
and I think they have so many good moments that it's hard to, like, narrow down from there.
Yeah, totally.
Because 'Cause I'm sitting here and I'm, like, trying to think. I mean, obviously, like, I also loved him working at the ice cream shop, like, that I think that was so funny and so cute, and everybody keeps asking for, like, a Scoops Troop group op, and I'm like, "We're gonna make this happen."
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, "We have to make this happen."
That would be amazing.
So, I don't know, yeah, I think anything with Steve and Dustin, probably.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So would you say that those are also your favorite characters?
Dustin for sure is.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He's
Dustin's the best,
amazing.
He's
man.
adorable, he's so cute. When we got Gaten's headshot, I'm like, "Look at him, look at this little
Yeah.
angel baby." Like
It's such a good one. It's such a good photo of him that you guys got for the headshot. Yeah.
oh, I know, I was so happy with that. I'm like, "Oh, I love this," because sometimes we get headshots and I'm like, "Guys, why'd you choose that? Like, what are you doing?" And then Gaten's, I'm like, "That's perfect. This is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
cute. Like, thank you."
It's fitting with the vibe, which I love, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you met any of the Stranger Things cast yet?
Nope.
Ooh.
No, I haven't gone to, like obviously, like, when we started Epic, it was not long after Stranger Things had came out and everything, and so I haven't gone to conventions, like, since we started Epic. So
Hmm.
there really hasn't been, like really wasn't much of an overlap from the time when we started to, like, when they were doing cons, so there wasn't really a chance for me to go and meet them.
Yeah, that
Well,
makes
I'm
sense.
excited, though, for October to get to meet them, and
Oh,
it'll
pumped.
be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we've both met Joseph Quinn. So that's where we met when we went to Philadelphia to
Cool.
meet him. Yeah. And Stacy's met him a couple times, like twice, Stacy?
Once in New Orleans and then once in Philadelphia when I was dressed as a bat.
Yeah. We'll have to send you that photo.
Not awkward at all.
No, it was actually really cute, but I did not we've told this story on the show before, but like she was like, "Do you want to come in line with us?" And I was like, "No." Like
It was a little overwhelming. I had like my bat hood up and I'm like, you want to wait with us? And she's like, this is a little overwhelming right now.
like I wasn't in her group, so I wasn't supposed to like be in line with them. And I was like, and I didn't know her that well yet. And I was like,
I
I'm
could have been a
okay.
psycho,
This is a lot for me.
So funny.
But yeah, and then Stacey, you've also met Grace.
I've
So
met
we're excited you
Grace.
guys got Grace.
She's such a sweetheart too.
I've heard that from everybody, how nice she is.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's all that we've met, other than you've met Robert England,
Yes,
right?
many,
At a
many
horror
moons ago.
convention,
Yep.
which he played Victor Creel.
Okay.
And then we were both at Fan Expo in Philadelphia,
Hmm.
and I didn't like meet him, but I watched a panel of Sean Astin, who, I mean, he was Bob in
Sweetheart.
Stranger Things, but like,
He'll always be Rudy to me.
okay.
Yes.
He'll always be Rudy. Like, I remember when he first, like, came on the screen for Stranger Things, I'm like, "It's Rudy!"
Yep.
Yeah,
Like, how can you kill Rudy?
I know.
What is wrong with you? Like, he's a national treasure.
Yeah, he's definitely Sam for me from Lord of the Rings, but it was funny because at the panel that I watched, he actually talked a lot about 51st Dates, and he's in that movie. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, and now I'm trying to think back.
He's that like the ex-boyfriend or
He's the
something.
brother.
Brother.
Okay.
And he wears these like mesh tank tops, and it's like a really funny character. You have to watch it again. And
Yeah.
because he was like talking so much about his experience making that, because I guess it's so different from like what he had made before.
I think it would be so funny, and I'm sure you guys don't remember this, but in it, they have to watch The Sixth Sense every night because that's the
Mhm.
video that they rented. And Drew Barrymore's always like, I had no idea what the twist. How funny would it be if somebody had him sign like a copy of The Sixth
You
Sense?
think that I've never seen The Sixth Sense? Is that what you're telling me?
Did I just give away the ending to The Sixth Sense? 'Cause
No,
I
you
held back.
didn't.
Oh,
You
thank
didn't. But
Christ. Could you
that movie
imagine?
traumatized me
Oh,
as a
it's
child.
terrifying.
It
It's
it
terrifying.
absolutely traumatized me. Like I watched it with my family on vacation in the Outer Banks for some reason. Like
Dear
that's what they
God.
decided to put on. And I was like,
Vacation. Oh my gosh.
what? Why did you make me watch this?
It's funny because I'm more of the horror fan. Megan isn't. So anytime I recommend a movie that has to do with Stranger Things, she's like, can I handle it? And it's either yeah or no, absolutely not. Do not watch that.
We are so excited for the Upside Down. I guess you sort of have been touching on this a little bit, but how long have you been planning it, and what has that process been like?
Yeah, so we officially started planning it in December. But before that, some of the business owners in Jackson had been reaching out to us, and they're like, you guys put on these events in Covington. Like, we want you to come to Jackson. We want you to do something similar here. And at that point, like, we'd announced Nina for December, and we were like, 1,000% of our focus has to be on I Was Feeling Festive, because, like, we're bringing her back to Covington. Like, this cannot, like, there's no room for error here. So we were like, let's get through December and then we'll come back to you on it. And we had one of the cast members from Stranger Things that had also, like, you know, hinted to us, like, we'd really like to do this, like, in Jackson. Like, is this something you'd consider?
That's
And
so
it was,
cool.
yeah.
Mm.
And I know we were like, oh, this would be great. But we were like, once again, like, we have to get through December. And then December went so well that we're like, okay, I think now we're like at this point. So we reached out to the business owners in Jackson, and talked to them. And we were like, do you guys have a venue in mind? Because obviously these small towns don't have like huge convention centers. Like in Covington, we do ours in a warehouse. And like Josh that owns it is amazing. He's made so many improvements for us, but there's just not like an ideal convention space in small towns. But they have a building that was built a couple years ago, and it's the Central Georgia EMC. And somebody had mentioned that to us. And we had first one of our businesses that we work closely with in Covington, she lives near Jackson. So she did like a drive-by and like recorded and was like, oh, this is such a good property. Like, this will be great. And sent it to me. And I'm like, cool. And she's like, it's 3 minutes from the square. I'm like, even better. I love this. And then we got a hold of them, the people that like run the EMC, and asked if there was a time that we could have somebody go tour it. So one of our volunteers that doesn't live far from there and is very experienced like in events, she was willing to drive over. So she went and toured it, asked like all the questions that we had for the venue, made sure that it would work. And we're like, okay, when can we sign? And then from there, like that was really quick. That all happened within like a week and a half time frame. And so once we knew we were good on the venue, we went ahead and like started sending out offers and like I mean, that was like very quick. And we were so excited because I mean, what better person to announce as like your first guest for a Stranger Things con? So yeah, from December until I think it was like mid-January, it was all very quick. Just like
Yeah.
a very quick turnaround. And the city of Jackson, like they've been so great about it because they were excited like for us to bring this there. So they've already bought in to like different ideas and things that they can do to make the town like into Hawkins for the con.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I've been to Georgia. Like I went in November of 2022 when the Stranger Things experience was there and my friend was living there. So she was like, you should come visit and we'll go to the Stranger Things experience. And I was like, but yes, I want to also just drive around to like filming locations. And she was like, great. And she drove me around for like 2 days. Like, but we went to Jackson and it was really cool. But I'm so excited to go back and, like experience it in this context because it sounds like it's going to be amazing. It also sounds like things just kind of like worked out for you guys like so quickly, which is amazing. And it's so funny because we started this podcast in January. We recorded the first couple episodes like the very end of December, and we were like, we really hope that somebody does a Stranger Things convention. We know that like there's all these great companies doing Vampire Diaries conventions. Like I hope that they'll like do a just Stranger Things convention because we don't really have any of those in the States. Like they've done them other places. And when we saw your announcement, we were like, oh my gosh, like we were just saying that we would love for this to happen. And we were like, also, once we knew about it, or I don't know the timeline of it, we were like, they should do it in Jackson. Like they'll still be filming in Georgia. Like I know, because I mean, I knew about the ones in Covington and everything. And I didn't really necessarily know that it was like your company specifically doing it. I wasn't familiar with the company yet, but we were just like talking about this right around the time that it was all like actually happening. And it was just so cool when we found out that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's cool that like a cast member, because we were saying the same thing, like they're going to be there for filming anyway. Like they're all going to be in the area. Like it makes perfect sense, like the timing of when you guys are doing it also, because hopefully most of them will be around anyway because they'll be filming. So they'll all be in the area and be semi-available. So it's just like perfect timing, I think, and it makes perfect sense. So yeah, we're super excited.
Well, it's like you guys
Just a little bit.
did it.
Yeah, we joke sometimes because we like always say things on the podcast and then I don't know, we're just like in tune with like everything that's going on with the show, I guess. And we're like, oh my gosh, we said it and then it came true. Like for weeks at least at the beginning of our podcast, we're like, they need to bring the play to the States, they need to bring it to Broadway. And then like a couple of weeks later, like they're bringing the play to Broadway. So obviously we haven't seen it yet. We didn't go to London, but we're excited to see it on Broadway in New York when like comes, because we've both avoided like spoilers for the play, so we don't know what happens, but we're like, we need that like lore and that background before season 5, so we're excited about that too.
Yeah.
So, Alexis, what would you say, like, what can people expect? Like, how many stars do you think are going to be there per day? And is everybody doing autographs, photo ops, meet and greets? Like, what can they expect?
Yeah, so I'll give you guys like the run through of like the layout of like how the day is gonna go. But everybody that's attending will do meet and greets. They'll do a panel each day that they're attending, photo ops, autographs, and then most of them will be doing duo photo ops, group ops, things like that. So the way that we structure the Stranger Things con, it's going to be very similar to our Vampire Diaries ones. And we've had a lot of people ask why we haven't put meet and greets on sale yet. And the reason why is that we're going to do half of the meet and greets in the morning and half in the evening. And we're partnering with local businesses to do them as like offsite meet and greets. So like somebody could do one where you're doing the escape room with them. Somebody could do one where you're like at the ice cream shop with them in town, having coffee, doing something with the animal shelter, like different things like that that get the local businesses involved and also get our attendees to get to go see like the different boutiques that they have, the different restaurants, things like that. So it helps the community and also like it's more fun getting to do an activity. It's more memorable than just sitting in a room in a circle and just getting to like ask a couple questions and everybody's just kind of sitting there. Like,
Mm.
I mean, so getting to do something like not many people can say like, oh, I got to have ice cream with, so and so, or I got to do an escape room with so and so, or like, all these different things are like that makes it memorable because then you can go back and tell your friends, yeah, you met Gaten, but did you get to like
Yeah.
do, whatever with them? So the meet and greets, like everybody's doing one a day. So like half the people will be in the morning and then half will be in the evening. And that's why we wait to announce them because we want everybody to know their options. Instead of just saying, oh, okay, Millie's doing this. And then we announce somebody else that you'd rather have a meet and greet with. And then you're like, well, I already bought Millie's. Like, what can I do? So those will go
Mm.
on sale later, but they'll go probably from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday morning. And then the convention will be from 10:30 to say 6 o'clock for photo ops, autographs, and panels. And then the evening meet and greets will be 6:30 to 7:30. And then if there's special events, they'll be after 7:30.
Gotcha.
That's super
Yeah.
cool.
So 9 to 10 both days. If a guest is attending only on one day, obviously their stuff would be that day, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically the max you could do is like 4 meet and greets because it would be one Saturday, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. That makes sense. You're waiting until kind of like everybody is announced and then you'll announce the meet and greets. Is that kind of what you're trying to do?
Yeah, so we'll finalize the lineup and then like probably beginning of September, we'll post and it'll be like a graphic and we'll email everybody that has tickets too. But
Mhm.
it'll be like we're getting ready to post ours for June right now. Like those will go up today or tomorrow, but it'll have like Friday or Saturday AM and then it'll have like Millie Bobby Brown and then what the activity is and then the price. And then like it'll list each person for like the price and what they're doing. And then there'll be Saturday PM meet and greets. Same things for anybody doing Saturday PM and then Sunday as well. And then we'll give you like a week heads up before they go on sale.
And the special events, are they Friday and Saturday night? Is there something on Sunday?
So there's a couple local businesses that are actually going to be hosting the evening events because they're going to be bigger evening events. And it's with us being as small as we are, we know we don't have the manpower to like execute evening events to our standard. So there's a
Mhm.
couple of local businesses that are actually going to be hosting a Friday night special event, a Saturday night special event, and a Sunday night special event. And those tickets will go on soon. I know we've said that Dacre is going to be doing the Friday evening one. So details will be coming on that. And that's going to be like, I'm excited for that one. It's going to be neat. Saturday night, they're also doing an event. We are working on getting one of the actors to go to that. But then Joe will be doing an evening event Saturday. So those might overlap a little bit. It won't be like a full overlap because like their parties that they're doing are going to last like a lot longer than an
Okay.
hour.
Yeah.
It'll be like a 2 or 3 hour thing. So think like a dance or something like that. So it'll be like a good amount of
Right.
time.
So Joe's doing the Saturday night event, but there's also something else going on Saturday night.
Yeah,
Got it.
Joe's will be smaller. So like any evening events that we do, they're like a maximum of 50 people. They're
Okay.
not big events. So theirs will be a little bit bigger, probably like 200, 250, but they'll have that like time and attention to dedicate to those events to make them
Yeah,
good.
that's awesome.
So, and then they're doing something Sunday night too. Aiden Fisher, I don't know
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
guys,
Oh, yeah.
so he was Joseph's body double.
For the guitar playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going to be participating during the con weekend.
Oh, cool.
He's going to be performing at their Sunday evening event.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
He's going to be like part of our convention too. He'll be hanging out with us all weekend. So he'll be there Sunday evening. He's been so cool. And I've heard
Nice.
great things about him. He performs like all over Georgia. And I know that he does things at local coffee shop in Covington. And that's like, we're super close with them. And they were like, you need to have Aiden there. And I'm like, okay. And he's so talented.
Yeah.
But he's part of the Sunday evening event. And
Fun. Oh my gosh, I love this because I'm like, oh, now I can like start planning. I've been like wanting to like plan our trip like forever. And I feel like Stacy and our other friend that's going with us are like, it's 6 months away, but like I'm such a planner. Like I already have like the rental car reserved and the Airbnb.
Yep.
And like I'm like,
Love that type A personality. Love
so
that.
now I can like, have some more things to put on the schedule.
yeah.
But when do you plan on releasing more information about like duos and group photo ops?
So we're going to wait until the lineup is closer to being finalized, and then we'll start releasing them. But like obviously ones that we know 1,000% are gonna happen, like selfishly, I had to have that the Joe and Gaten duo.
Yeah.
Like that was happening 1,000%. I was like, that's just gonna go on sale now. Um, but no, like Sydney, because she helps me with like all the schedules and like things like that. And she was like, that needs to go on sale immediately. So we decided to do that. But like some of the others will wait until closer to the con because it all depends like on scheduling. Like if more people are obviously wanting to buy like solo ops or autographs, we'll try to kind of cater to that more than the duos and groups. So we'll see once it gets closer to, but probably I would say like end of July, beginning of August is when we'll start putting those out.
Okay. And then what would the meet and greet kind of like timeline be when you would know? Like it's May and you're just now doing June. So it would be kind of like the month before or
So it should be like beginning to middle of September. Like for the Stranger Things con, we already have all of the offers out. And because they haven't worked with us before, we're giving them kind of our ideas for meet and greets when we send those. Whereas like the Vampire Diaries ones, they kind of like, they're easier because we have that relationship with them. And so we've been throwing kind of like some different ideas at them. And that's why it's taking a little bit longer this time. Normally by now everything would be up for Vampire Diaries, but we have a few newbies and threw kind of a couple different ideas that they weren't used to.
yeah, unique ideas at them. We love that though, because it makes it so different and fun. That's really cool. Yeah.
We love our meet and greets. They're like, they're truly one of a kind. Like people last year, they got to go shopping with Riley Vogel. Nina's was at the Elena Gilbert house, which, for Vampire Diaries fans, like there's nothing cooler than getting a picture with Nina on the Elena porch. Like that was amazing. So, we're planning on doing stuff like that, like anything that we can do in Jackson that will be like filming locations or things like that for meet and greets. That's kind of like the vibe that we're going with because it's so neat. Like, and it's a memory that'll last forever.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We were laughing at your escape room just because we've joked that like we've joked about that. Like we're like, we're like really bad at escape rooms. Well, I didn't say that, Stacy did. So she doesn't know that she would really want to do an escape room.
I would just sit on the floor and have a tantrum as the celebrity's looking down at me, being like, "Are you okay?" I'd be like, "No, I'm not okay."
But
Oh,
I've only
man.
done one escape room, and I feel like I was like okay at it. I think it would be fun.
So my husband and I, when we went down to Jackson, it was in February, and we met with like the townspeople there, and we did the escape room. And so my kids are 4, 7, and 9.
Oh,
And so it was my husband and I, and then our 3 kids, and we did the escape room. And I mean, we got out too.
That's awesome.
Well, because we were, like, giving the kids tasks to do and things like that. So, I mean, it's
aw.
definitely, like, doable, but they had so much fun because they had to, like, levitate, like Max, like, at the very end when we were ready to get out, you had to levitate like Max, and they were like, "This is so fun."
That's adorable.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. And I've been trying to like follow a lot of the local businesses and stuff too and I love that they're like excited about it and posting stuff about it and everything like that.
Well, and, like, just to even touch on how excited they are, so when I was going down there in February, it was to meet with them, and at first, it was just gonna be with, like, their local, like, chamber of commerce person and then, like, 2 of the business owners, and then they followed up with me, like, a week before, and they were like, "Hey, just wanted to let you know we have some more people that are interested in coming, is that okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. How many are you thinking?" They were like, "12." It's like, "Okay." So they call me a day before and they're like, "Actually, there's a lot more coming. It's gonna be probably like 25." And I'm like, "Okay." I get down there and walk in and they are in a room, huge room, ran out of seats. There
Oh
were
my god.
over 50 people. I'm not a public speaking girly. Like, and so I stood up there the whole time and was like, "Oh, this is a lot." But like, they're all so excited. They all have ideas for things that they want to do, like how they want to decorate the town, like different things that they want to include like in their businesses because like some of the boutiques might not have anything Stranger Thing related, but they're all, like, coming up with ideas, so that way they really embrace it and, like, people feel like, they're in the '80s, they're in Hawkins, and are able to, like, come in and shop and see things, so we're
That
excited,
is so
like
cool. It's like the whole community is coming together.
yeah,
That's
and it's
fantastic.
Halloween time, so, like,
That's
I mean,
true.
that's gonna be cool in itself because, I mean, they can go, like, full spooky on everything and really lean into it.
Yeah.
That's
And we've
incredible.
heard a little bit about I feel like, Stacey, you were telling me this, that, like, you don't plan and I don't know if you usually do have vendors at your shows, but I feel like you don't really plan on having vendors for this con so that people will visit the local businesses. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it's kinda like a two-part for that. So when we are in Covington, our vendor spots are limited just because of spacing, and it's like that in Jackson too, where the space is so limited, like, there's not going to be room in the building to have vendors. So the vendors that we do have, it's going to be like Fall Fest style, where they're, like, tents outside. But even
Nice.
then, it's only going to be a few, and we're really going to push people to, like, if you want to buy Stranger Things merch, go, like, into town, go to these places, like, these are the ones that are having special, like, pop-ups for the weekend, just to kind of push people to go there.
Yeah, that's so cool.
What would you say, Alexis, you're looking forward to the most this October?
Honestly, like, I think bringing new people to Jackson is really neat, and we see that, like, anytime we do one of our TVD events, like, seeing new fans get to experience town for the first time, it's going to be like that in Jackson, which we'll get to see with fresh eyes because we've seen the TVD ones over and over again at this point. So it'll be neat seeing, like, people react to a different town and get to see like, "Oh my gosh, they have this charm here as well, like, look at how cute this is." So we're excited for that, and I feel like there's a lot more families coming to this one
Mhm.
than we have at our other events, and I think anytime that you have kids come to a con and get to meet, like, their favorite people or it's really cool to see kids' reactions because, like, I feel like a lot of the times adults are able to, like, kind of hold in their fangirling. Kids a lot of the times can't. So, like,
Yeah.
you get to see, like, their raw reaction, to like meeting their favorite person or like seeing the alley where
Yeah.
like I mean it's just gonna be neat seeing that, like seeing adults and seeing kids. And for me, there's nothing cooler than like seeing my kids have a good time. So like I know the parents that are bringing them are gonna be like beaming seeing their kids having a great time. And it's such a show that like families can bond over and watch.
Mhm. What is your goal, I guess, to like how many people are you thinking each day, like cast wise, are going to be there?
If I had to guess, I would estimate like 12 a day,
Okay.
Okay.
but sometimes we like, I mean, like I said, we're fangirls, so it's hard for us to like tell somebody no
Mm.
if they ask to come. And that's why like we get to where we're like, okay, we're done with the Vampire Diaries lineup. And then somebody asks to come and it's like, just kidding. And I can see that happening with the Stranger Things one, especially because like a lot of them are so close and they are
Yeah.
going to be in Atlanta at that time. I'm like, if somebody else asks to come, we're going to be like, yes, of course you can come. And then we'll end up with more. But we're shooting for 12 a
Okay.
day.
That makes sense. I think we talked about this a little bit before, but anything else that we should know or that other people listening who are coming to the show should know to sort of like have the best experience possible? Like, I mean, you gave like your general convention tips, but anything specific to this show?
So I know one question we keep getting a lot is about parking. There is parking at the venue, and we fully anticipate that being enough like there being enough spots for everybody. If for some reason there's not, there is a local like bus shuttling company, and we do have a parking lot that we are going to be able to utilize in Jackson, and that shuttle will be able to bring people over, and they're just going to keep going back and forth each
Oh,
day
nice.
because people need to come and go. But I mean, as of now, we do expect there's going to be plenty of parking there. The only way that we might run into an issue is if there's like a ton of rain right before the con, then part of the parking might be a little bit too wet for people to drive
Mhm.
into. But
Gotcha. And will you have to pay for parking at the venue?
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's nice.
yeah, obviously, this is like a lot smaller than a Comic Con. Like, I mean, it's going to be like 1,500 people, like, so way smaller.
Are you close to like where are you with like tickets? Are you close to selling out or
Yeah. So, like, the top tier VIP is already sold out. Saturday was sold out, but when we announced Gate In, a lot of people asked to upgrade their Saturday pass to weekend. So we had a couple Saturday passes go back to the website. Not sure if those have sold back out. They might have by now. But like weekend passes are close to selling out. I think we have maybe like 150
wow,
left. And then the Sunday only passes are getting low as well.
nice. That's awesome.
But we're
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm sure that, announcing Joe Keery early was kind of like a good call. Like, like congratulations, basically,
That was a good
for
one.
getting him because we're so excited. And he's not one that does a lot of conventions.
That's why, like, us asking him, it was like a shot in the dark, and I was like, "I have to try," like, I mean, everybody loves Steve,
Yeah.
and it's like, we have to try. And I'm like we sat there, and it was one of those times where it's like, we've worked with so and so, like, they're willing to come back to a con, and normally they don't do cons. They had a great time, like, will he please, like, give us a chance, like, let's do this. He'll have fun, and we made it happen, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
exciting.
So exciting.
Are you hoping to do any more like duo or group ops with Kiri?
Well, she said Scoops Troop.
Yeah. I'm like, that's my goal. That is the
Yeah.
ultimate goal. I definitely like we have a few people that we would love to come to the con that would
Mhm.
make for like great duo and group ops with him. So we're hoping, and him being there both days like really opens that up for us because obviously like they only have so many like working hours in a day. So it's like for those people that have the opportunity, like him and Millie both, to have so many duo and group ops, like we needed them there both days. So that way
Exactly.
we can give people options. Like we may only be able to offer like a duo op for, say, Millie can only do a duo op with like one person on Saturday because her Sunday is going to be full with duos with others. So that's why
Mhm.
we're like weekend passes, like get your weekend passes. We can't offer the same things both
Yeah.
days because we want that variety.
Right, right. You can't duplicate everything the second day because you won't be able to do as much. That makes sense. Well, and we were also very impressed that you have Dacre coming, and we love that.
Hmm.
I mean, people who are not necessarily still alive on the show are coming to the
Where's it
convention.
now?
You know, I mean, we've both met a certain person, but we would love to see him again as well. But I know,
Yeah.
schedules get full and everything. But
No, we would love to have him there. I'm like, the Stranger Things cast is all around, like, so great. It's like,
Hmm.
just want everybody to
yeah,
come. And they all seem, like, so personable too. Like, they're gonna be fun having at the event. So, it's like we're hoping a lot of them work
yeah,
out.
that's another thing that I'm just super excited about. That like even if we can't afford to like meet every single cast member, that we would love to meet and have a photo with. Like I love that you're doing the panels, and I'm just excited to like see them interact, because I mentioned before that I liked to like watch the YouTube videos of the Vampire Diaries cast at like these conventions, because it was just so entertaining to just watch them interact with each other and like as themselves, and like you get to see that little behind the scenes kind of component to their relationships, which is cool.
No, I completely agree. Panels are cool just for that purpose.
Yeah.
Like, do you hope that there's going to be more Stranger Things conventions through your company in the future?
We definitely hope so. Our Vampire Diaries one, that was supposed to be a one-time thing.
Hmm.
And now here we are, we're planning our I mean, we already have our 2025 ones, like, locked in and people signed, so I'm like, I would love, like, if everything goes well in October and the cast has fun, like, because that's a huge part of it. We don't want them to, like, not enjoy it, like, they might come and be like, "Actually, I like big Comic-Cons better." Like,
Mm.
I don't like the smaller, like, more intimate ones, and so we wanna make sure, like, it's a good fit all around for us and for them. But, I mean, if it works out and it's fun, we'd love to do more.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I'm sure you're kind of like, let's just get through the first one and then go from there. But it's
But I need to say, Alexis, like on behalf of like, us nerds and fangirls, it's just so refreshing to see a female run company by fans. So I really want to say thank you, because you're trying to let the fans have core memories and actual experiences versus going up, taking a real quick photo, quick autograph. That's it. So thank you for kind of going against the grain and doing something different. We really
yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely. It's so cool.
Thanks.
Do you have any other questions, Stacy, that we haven't asked yet?
All ones that can't go on the record. So no,
I love it.
I got to behave myself.
Oh my gosh. Well, it was so fun chatting with you.
Thanks.
We're super excited. We're just, yeah, like, I mean, I can't like stress enough how excited we are for October, and like grateful, like Stacy said, to you guys for like basically designing like the perfect experience for a Stranger Things fan. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a dream for us too. So it's really cool, like, because I mean, at the end of the day, like the shows and movies, they wouldn't exist without the fans. So it's really cool, like for us being fans and then for attendees that are coming, for everybody to get to come together and really celebrate the shows.
Yeah. Anything else you would like to share?
No, thank you for having me on. Yeah, Stacey's winking. So there's going to be a couple more big announcements coming
Okay.
soon that are signed. So we're excited. But we
Yeah.
the comments for people that you'd like to see there. And I mean, that always helps us because we like kind of that input and feedback. So
Yeah, kind of gauging the excitement about, yeah, certain people and everything. Well, thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll see you in October, and
yeah.
we'll talk to you soon. And thank you everyone else for listening. Oh my gosh, she was the absolute sweetest.
Yeah, total doll.
Thank you so much, Alexis, for chatting with us. Had such a fun time.
Hmm. Just making us 10 times more pumped for this convention. Now I'm really truly gearing up for it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so excited now that I can like, make some more plans and map out our time there.
Exactly.
Yeah. But if you were tuning in to hear Alexis, thank you so much. If you don't usually tune in, you can find us on social media. We are most active on Instagram at Skull Rock Broadcast, but I am Steady Stories on Instagram as well. And Stacy is Stay Still Reviews. So you can find us there, chat with us. If you are coming to the convention in October, please reach out because we want to talk to you about it and nerd out about the show and get excited to actually meet some of you in real life. Yeah, we're super excited. If you would like to continue to hang out with us, make sure you tune in next week. We are currently in the middle of our Stranger Things season 1 rewatch. So we have watched the first 4 episodes and talked about them, and you can go back and listen to those. And next week we will be back with episode 5, which is the Acrobat and the Flea. So yeah, join us.
All right. Well, that was a ton of fun, Megan, and I hope to talk to you soon. And over and out.
Over and out.